Welcome to the Ekhoing Vitality podcast with Josh and Taylor. I'm Josh, Czech practitioner, and I help you rediscover your vitality.
And I'm Taylor Blakely, your integrative nutritionist with a passion for making wellness simple, sustainable, and fun.
We've been through it all. Back pain, gut issues, the stress of starting over after big moves, and finding our way through life's curveballs.
Now we're here to share real stories, proven tools, and plenty of laughs to help you create a life full of vitality.
So if you're ready to take control of your health and thrive,
let's dive into today's episode, and don't forget, hit subscribe so you can join us every week.
Welcome back to another episode with myself, Josh, and
Taylor.
Today we are talking about the Winter Solstice. So we'll be talking about what it is, what you can do during it, what it means spiritually, all kinds of stuff. But to start, we are going to hop into our weekly recap, which is new. We just started it just now.
Literally just now.
We just came up with the idea right before this. So we'll just basically share, what have we been doing? What are some fun things happening? And that's pretty much it. Then we'll get into the Winter Solstice and then close it out with a fun quote.
Did you prepare for that quote?
I have quotes in my head all the time.
Yeah, he does actually. Just always throwing them out there.
So what's a fun thing we did this week?
So over the weekend, we hosted the winter market down here in Worley.
Oh yeah, I forgot we did that.
Yeah. So that was on Saturday. It was essentially our first time. The other times that we had it essentially was the first time for that month is how I'm viewing it. So the winter market was really awesome. We had about 28 vendors. So that was really fun. It actually reminded me of being in kind of like a team building mode for myself, because I'm the one who handled all of the communications with the vendors and whatnot and kind of organized the whole thing. And so that kind of put me in that more leadership, people asking me questions, coming to me. And
she was the visionary, the strategist, the manager, the solopreneur.
Because
with lots of support.
Yes. Well, because I just kind of handled all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were
I'm saying you wore all the hats, essentially.
Yeah. You were my muscle. You were tell me what to do.
Yeah. I moved
Pretty
tables.
Much. He did. And chairs. And
other various things, but yeah.
Yeah. He hung up signs that you did not want to do.
Yeah, I got to paint signs and hang them up around town.
Yeah. So overall, that was pretty fun. We'll probably do another one just because I think it was really great to get the surrounding communities all together and get to know each other. There was a lot of people who didn't know each other, so I thought that was pretty cool. So I would like to do that again, have it be busier, gather more people, and I think it would just be an overall great experience for the community. So
yeah, I think so too. It's a really good community thing.
So
big Taylor energy right there.
Yes, I can gather. That's one thing I learned about myself over the years is I can gather teams together. I can gather people together. And I just have to have the right communication, the right energy, and those kinds of things. And I feel like that's how I've been able to create such great teams managing the campground. And I'm still we both are still very good friends with a lot of the staff that had worked there. So they're no longer coworkers or anything like that. They're now friends. So I remember one year I was I'm hiring friends. That was my energy.
Yeah.
And I ended up just making so many friends that season. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, what else did we do this week?
Another fun thing that we did was make cultural things. I don't know how you define that. Essentially, the wellness center or the tribe was hosting what was it called actually?
I think they called it indigenuity. I think something like that.
Okay.
Kind of a play on words.
Indigenuity. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they were offering the community to come in, and you could make like a jingle dress. Is that? I don't think they had jingle dresses.
No.
Skirts.
Ribbon skirts.
Oh yeah, ribbon skirts. That's
ribbon
what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Stick game stuff, rattles, drums, porcupine jewelry. I think that's pretty much it. Well, there's probably more, but we only went for one day, and it was a 4-day event. So,
was it 4 days?
Well, fuck, I don't know.
I think it was only 2 days.
Okay, I thought it was. Well, who cares? Whatever. The important part is we got to make a drum, and Taylor got to make a rattle.
You got to make a drum. Yeah, I made a turtle rattle.
Right.
Yeah, which was really awesome.
Yeah, the turtle rattle is pretty sweet. I'll talk about the drum. So I've made a drum one other time, and that was pretty cool.
Also with the tribe.
Also with the tribe, yeah. The tribe's awesome with that stuff.
Coeur d'Alene tribe.
Coeur d'Alene tribe,
in case we have listeners who are not familiar.
Yep. Taylor's an enrolled tribal member. I'm a descendant of the Coeur d'Alene tribe, so we enjoy doing that stuff, immersing ourselves in those opportunities when we can. Anyways, yeah, I think the drums are freaking cool. I got to make I think it's a 15-inch drum, if I remember right. I don't know what kind of hide, because I asked them and they didn't know, or at least the guy I asked didn't know.
Yeah.
But who cares? I mean, I do kind of care, because I do like to know, oh yeah, it's like it's a deer or elk or buffalo, because then you can tie the spiritual meaning into that, or from
I think
spirit
we
animals.
could find out.
Probably could.
Yeah.
So anyways, it sounds really cool. The guy who was teaching me was great. I feel confident that I can honestly go, like if I were to buy a kit, or if we got, we do have an elk hide in our freezer, so when we process that, I feel confident that we could make a drum with the, we have to buy more materials obviously, but.
The drum kit, and unless we decide to try to make it ourselves, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I can make a circle of wood. A circle. Tell us about your turtle.
Okay, so I had never made
rattle.
a turtle rattle before. So using a turtle shell and the hide, and essentially you have to weave it together a little bit. So there's like a long strip of hide with holes punched in on each side, and then you take one long strip of rawhide, and you want to make sure it's like thin enough to like weave through the holes, and then basically you just pull it really, really tight. And it was really tedious. I think it took us maybe like 3-4 hours to do the drum and the rattle.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It takes time. And even then, like, we probably could have spent maybe a little bit longer, like fine-tuning some things if we wanted to.
Oh,
painting, painting like the inside of the drum.
I'm pretty sure the guy who was teaching me could have made 3 drums in the time it took us to make one.
So just, not doing this on a regular basis. So it just took us some time to work that out. But it was so fun and so tedious. And like the one thing that I was taught is that when you are creating things, when you are using your hands, doesn't matter what you're creating. It can be any kind of art. It can be jewelry making. It can be drum making, anything. And what I was taught is that when you're creating these things, you want to always think good energy, good positive energy. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful to be working with this deer hide or elk hide or whatever it is, and just being really thankful for the process, being thankful for the opportunity, and having all the tools, and being thankful for the teachers who are teaching you the techniques that they use and that they had been taught. And so when you're creating these things, you want to make sure that you're really just overall grateful and thankful for the experience. So I just thought, I try to keep that in mind when I was creating my turtle rattle, and also just tapping into like turtle medicine too, because turtles are known for essentially helping. I think there's a story of the turtles, how that's the creation of the world, essentially, how turtles brought that to us. And there's a lot of creation stories out there, but that one sticks out to me a little bit more than any other ones. But
Turtle Island?
Turtle Island, yeah, I can't remember the specific story right now because I feel like I'm blending the few that I have learned.
I believe the story of Sky Woman coming down and using turtle as a platform essentially to stand on.
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah, because turtle was just surrounded by a body of water, and Sky Woman came down, so she was essentially star people. So I thought that was really interesting that like all animals were here on this earth essentially. And I think it was it beaver or otter? Was it otter? Otter was able to like dive deep down into the ocean, and what was needed for like the creation of the earth was soil or dirt or mud or whatever it was at the bottom of the ocean, sand. Somebody needed to go down there and get it, and many different animals were attempting to, and a lot of them are falling up short. And then I'm pretty sure it was otter.
It was muskrat who was able to succeed.
Oh yes, muskrat.
Yeah. But yeah, there were many others who tried it and weren't able to get down deep enough.
Yeah.
But muskrat was the guy or the gal or whatever.
And he barely made it though. No, he actually sacrificed his life.
Yeah, I think you're right actually.
Like he came out of the water like with his hand up.
Like a valiant warrior.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, and he was able to like provide it so that I can't remember this part though, like for the reason why Sky Woman needed it and for the creation of like the earth. I can't remember, but
yeah, I'll have to brush up on that.
Yeah, I think that was in the book.
It's in Braiding Sweetgrass.
Braiding Sweetgrass by
pretty early on.
Yeah, what's her name? Jamie Kimmer, or is that her
name?
Yeah. Well, that's how her name. That's what her name is.
I don't know her
Trying
name,
to find
honestly.
that.
I'm even reading the book right now, and I don't even know her name. I just know it's called Braiding Sweetgrass.
So wait, let me get her name real quick. Because it is such a beautiful book.
Kimmerer.
Oh, Robin Wall Kimmerer.
Yeah, okay. It reminds me. This has nothing to do with any of that, but it just reminds me of the movie Dumb and Dumber. And then the second one's called Dumb and Dumberer.
Oh, and Dumberer. That's funny.
Anyways, so yeah, that was really fun at the Wellness Center.
Yeah.
I like to think of the drum too, and I think some shamans view it as like, the drum is like the beat of Mother Nature. But I like to view it as like it's the continuous heartbeat of the animal, which is why I was like, oh, I kind of care what animal it is because, spirit animals, they have meaning and it's just interesting to know.
They carry a certain vibration. Yeah, vibration.
Vibrant vibration. Yeah, totally.
Words right now.
Yeah.
Words all the time for me, actually.
Anyways, to continue on the recap, we were able, well, more so I guess.
I did not.
Taylor did not meet this gal, but I got to meet this gal earlier in the summer. Her name is Anne, and she makes hot cacao. Not hot chocolate. This stuff is fancy, man. This stuff is very good.
Right up our alley.
Yeah, so I was actually, I filmed for a painting company, and it's called 5 Star Painting here in Coeur d'Alene. And one of their clients, I got to go film their house, a testimonial and stuff. And so, I try to be social in these situations and meet people. And anyways, found out she makes hot chocolate. And it's called Retreat Drinks. They're not sponsoring this. We're not getting paid. We're just telling you because it's really good and really quality. So I'll just read you guys some quick facts about it. And honestly, if you're into health as much as we are, this is a good hot chocolate to drink. So it's vegan, organic, and fair trade. And the ingredients are very clean. So we've got organic coconut cream powder, which is organic coconut milk and organic yucca maltodextrin, organic acacia fiber, organic maple sugar from 100% pure maple syrup, organic cacao powder, and Himalayan pink salt. So overall, very good, small batch, family owned, and Taylor and I have been smashing on these packets. Like, actually, we're literally drinking one right now during this episode.
We sure are.
So anyways, they have peppermint and classic. Classic is basically just regular hot chocolate.
That's
then,
my favorite.
Yeah, but I like the peppermint one more so. But yeah, there's, let me see. Probably most of you are concerned about the sugar, but it is maple sugar, so that's better on the glycemic index, I believe, if I remember right. But yeah, the total sugars are only 13 grams. So
A nice little sweet treat, especially during this time of year, right?
Yep. So yeah, anyways, that was cool meeting her. She just gave us like a bunch of hot chocolate, and so that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, fun fact about cacao is it's actually really high in magnesium.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's really great for women's health. And so this is just a really wonderful excuse to enjoy creamy hot chocolate that's actually really good for you. And just the ingredients, knowing that it's fair trade and organic, like it's not going to be sprayed with like pesticides and things like that, and that the workers who gather them too are actually being, compensated fairly for their work. So it's just like an overall great company, and I appreciate that. So it's just another reason to support, not even local, or like just local and high quality.
Yeah.
And we have that here in Coeur d'Alene, or she's in Hayden.
Technically,
right?
she's in Hayden, yeah, but
So-
they just moved here from Seattle, but now they're local. They're moving everything over here, so
Yeah, so it's
anyways.
really pretty cool.
yeah. So again, it's called Retreat Drinks. If I remember, I will put a link in the show notes, which I do have a hard time remembering to do that. I'm always like, I'll just put a link in the show notes, and then I forget to do it.
Yeah, we need to make a list of all the things that we need to do.
Yeah, maybe I'll write it down now.
Write it down. Yeah, we have our handy dandy notebook to help us stay on track. But another thing that we did this week was actually get our teeth cleaned. And I just wanted to talk about that for just a moment because I thought that was just a really cool thing. So I try my best to have our appointments scheduled at the same time just because it keeps us accountable, and we're just kind of getting our routine every 6 months cleaning. I really enjoy getting my teeth cleaned, and I don't think you really ever have. But I encourage the whole thing. I will make his appointment for him. Hey, can I make...
Which I appreciate, but yeah, I just, like most people, do not enjoy going to the dentist.
But I do. I grew up... My mom worked in a dental office, and so she was always routinely setting up our appointments, and so it was just easy. And so I was, just used to the whole experience, but now I just really enjoy it. Get my teeth cleaned. Like yesterday I was like, ooh, my teeth look so good. And they feel really good.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I wanted to talk about how they told us that we have no cavities, no soft spots or anything like that. And I remember when in my early 20s, they used to tell me, oh, you have soft spots. And I'm like, what the heck? I brush my teeth with my fluoride toothpaste. I use my Listerine, like all of the things. And I remember being so paranoid that I was damaging my teeth somehow. And I had no idea how I was doing it. And I don't know exactly why, but I feel like I was malnourished for sure. A lot of health problems at the time, period problems, were the worst around my early 20s. And again, I had soft spots, and they would tell me like, oh, you need to start using more fluoride and whatnot. So they would do like
we're going to take your tooth.
Yeah, fluoride treatments and whatnot. Then we learned, but no, they didn't say that to me.
No.
But yeah.
That's my view of the dentist. No.
Yeah. Well, you haven't had as great experience as I have, so.
Well, I've had a lot of teeth pulled because my mouth is so-called small. Okay, well, let's fix that and not take my teeth out.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that shit back then.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, pull teeth because you have no room. Well, those teeth are meant to be in there.
Yeah, I had rotten teeth as a very young kid, probably 4, 3. So I had to get those pulled.
Which could have been some nutrient deficiencies,
Yeah.
For sure.
But it had to be
100%. Like, if you think about it, like, you and your brother, your older brother, were born 10 months apart.
Yeah,
right?
So I didn't get any nutrients.
Yeah.
Somehow I made it out.
So you're here, you're okay. You just were nutrient deficient with all of these symptoms. And the reason I feel confident in saying that is because your teeth are very telling about how healthy you are.
Very
So if your body is deficient in minerals, it's going to pull from the highly concentrated parts of yourself, which is your teeth and your bones. And so if your teeth are starting to rot or go soft or whatever,
get cavities.
Like, you are very nutrient deficient in minerals and vitamins, and so it's something to consider when
you're highly efficient though in sugars and inflammatory foods and devoid of nutrient foods.
Yeah, so you just want to
reverse that,
switch that whole thing.
Yeah, switch it up.
So, anyways, just wanted to remind you, if you go and this is a reminder, go do your routine checkup at your dentist office.
Let them clean your teeth.
It's fine.
Well, I will say the dentist is way more enjoyable, actually, when you don't have to have your teeth pulled and cavities filled.
Yeah, that is true.
You just go in, get it clean, and head out. Whereas the majority of my life, it would be sorry, bro, but you've got another cavity. Well, fuck, man. I'm not coming back to fill that.
I don't want to deal with all that pain.
No, I did get them filled with amalgams, which I need to.
That's a whole
I
other
want
topic.
to get those out because of metal toxicities. That's debatable in the dental industry, but I don't care what dentists say. I want to get them out.
Yeah. Well, if dentists have to essentially put on a bunch of hazmat type of stuff to remove those, that's kind of telling that it's pretty toxic to have in the body. So
yeah, maybe we should talk dental stuff one of these episodes. It's pretty important. There's a lot of stuff to know.
Yeah, it is.
The mouth is very. I mean, shit. That's why dentists are a profession. There's so much to know about the mouth. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to get too deep in that.
Yeah. So go get your teeth checked. Make sure you're getting all your vitamins and minerals as much as possible. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but she was saying when she had the soft spots, she had she was using fluoride and Listerine and stuff. Well, now we do not use those things, and our teeth are actually great.
Yeah. Yeah, the healthiest that they've ever been. The dentist, he's just always so impressed with my mouth.
You got a pretty mouth?
Pretty much.
Is that what he said?
No, but that would have been awesome if he did. But yeah, I always feel that's what.
I think that would be weird, actually.
No, it probably would be weird.
You got a pretty mouth.
But we could talk about it.
I don't want my dentist telling me that. At least like that.
I appreciate the compliment because we work hard. I work hard, at keeping my teeth
you're a hard
nice
worker.
and strong and healthy. So anyways, yes, we don't use fluoride because it is a known neurotoxin. And I'm just
is
not...
metal, yeah.
Yeah, I am not willing to put that in my body. It doesn't matter that it's considered safe by the FDA. It is known as a
The FDA,
carcinogen.
do you know what that stands for?
What?
Fucking dumbass.
Is that what it stands for?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly just made that up. But there's a saying, like, anything the FDA says, well, it's probably wrong. Or not wrong, but misled, maybe. Mm-hmm. Like fluoride.
Or someone paid them to say something else. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
you guys hopefully understand what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. If you don't, well, that's okay too.
Yeah, we'll just move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about winter.
Yeah, winter. Let's talk about winter because, the winter solstice is right around the corner, and that is on December 21st. And there's so many things that you can do around this winter solstice to, one, make it more enjoyable, make this time of year have more meaning in your life. There's a lot of in one of our first episodes, we talked about seasonal affective disorder. So it can just be a really hard time for people emotionally and spiritually. But it could also be a really great time for internal reflections on your life, on your goals, where you want to go. You can set new intentions. So it's a really great time to do all of that. And it's right around the corner here. So we're filming this just a few days beforehand, but on December 21st, you can do some practices. It's on a Saturday. And yeah, we'll kind of talk about that. And then another thing I wanted to talk about is I want to make the connection or comparisons to the menstrual cycle, because there's 3 phases in the menstrual cycle, but essentially there are 4 seasons within the menstrual cycle. You can think about it that way. And I want to talk about the winter season of our cycle, because it can be just a really great time for rest and healing, and that's what winter's for. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start with that?
Do you want to talk about?
I was starting with what is it?
Okay. Yes.
What does it mean? So people can be on the same page.
Yes. I like that you do that.
Yeah, I don't let this define my being, but it is a tool in the Enneagram system. I'm a 5, which is basically a thinker. So this is my thinking side of me, starting with...
Well, I feel like you're kind of a skeptic. You have to know
a skeptic,
the origin
yeah.
of things before you're like...
A skeptic, a researcher, a thinker, yeah. Another example of a 5 in the Enneagram system, I think, was Einstein. So I'm up there with the higher-ups.
You're up there, yeah. Well, you produce soon, so those thinkers... They get the 3 lines on their forehead. That's very symbolic into people who are working with the psyche all the time. So, just so you know.
So the word solstice, we can break that down a little bit. Sol, S-O-L, does not mean shit out of luck, like you might think. Well, it actually might mean shit out of luck, because in the Arctic, during the winter solstice, you actually don't get any sun for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
So I don't know about you, but depends how you want to look at it, if you're a pessimist or an optimist.
Yeah.
But anyways, sol actually means sun. It means sun. And stis, I think, comes from the word stitious, if I remember correctly, something like that. Basically, it can mean stand still. So solstice means sun standing still. So for 24 hours, depending on where you're at, it can appear that the sun is not moving, I guess is the reason behind that.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is why it's the longest, darkest day of the year.
yes. It is the longest, darkest day in the Arctic.
Keep going.
And it is the shortest day of light. So
I feel like you were trying to use your accent voice, but not at the same time. So I think you need to redo that.
I don't know if I can do it. Honestly, I just wish I had David Attenborough's voice. If you don't know who David Attenborough is, he's the guy who's always doing voiceovers for, like Our Wild Planet? No, Our Wild Planet is our business.
Yeah, that's right. That's another
business venture we had. Yeah, it's called Our Wild Planet.
Yeah.
So to be honest, I don't know. I was searching up URLs on GoDaddy, which is a site where you can buy website URLs. And I was searching up Wild Planet, Our Planet, just all kinds of stuff. Just looking for URLs, and I looked up Our Wild Planet, and it was only 99 cents, and I was honestly just mind blown that was even available. Because usually when you find some badass URL, it's like freaking, $5,000 to get it. So I was like, 99 cents? I freaking have to get that right now. I don't know if we'll ever use it in the future, but if we do, we've got it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, buying your name. If I bought my name URL in 2013 or something. Mm-hmm. I freaking locked that up because you never know. You
bought mine too.
Yeah.
Taylor Blakely.
Yeah, I bought Taylor's too. Because here's the thing: if you want to build a personal brand, you want your name as a URL. But anyways, I'll digress from that.
Okay.
let's get back to the winter.
This is why our podcast gets so long. We hope you enjoy it regardless, because we have all these weird little side notes of our life.
Yeah, David Attenborough, anyways, he's like the freaking British guy or whatever he is. And he's like, the Winter Solstice. Oh, I can't even freaking mimic that guy. I'm not even. Just go watch Our Planet. And Our Universe, wherever the hell he's on. Anyways, so we've defined winter solstice. It can typically happen from December 20th to the 23rd, actually. However, it is most common on the 21st and 22nd. Mm-hmm. Rarely the 20th.
Yeah.
And fun fact for all you folks, I was born on the 20th. Mm. So I could be considered a winter solstice baby. But not really. Yeah. Because it's rare.
It's super rare.
Oh. I'm rare.
Medium rare.
Medium rare? Let's just move on from that. I'm medium rare. Okay. Anyways, so...
Oh, that's funny.
Let's see. Should I say anything else about winter solstice? I will add, I guess, that Taylor kind of mentioned it, but the winter solstice is the sun standing still, and in some cultures, it can be viewed as a renewal, a rebirth. Why? Because it is the beginning of new light, new longer light days, and it is the death, if you will, of long, dark days. Mm-hmm. So you can celebrate that. Yeah. Something to look forward to, honestly. Yes, finally, we're going to have longer, lighter days.
Yeah.
I know most people look forward to that. And reflection, too. Winter brings snow and wet. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yep.
So... what happens when it's wet and snowy out and the sun is shining on it? Reflection. Mm-hmm. So naturally, it is a reflective season, I think. symbolically.
It is.
And when you're reflecting and spring is coming into play, what you reflect also melts into the ground and dries up, which can be grounding for you once you make your goals and intentions. And there lies new growth and rebirth as the season continues on.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Now, if only you just had all of that in his voice.
Shoot, David Attenborough probably is like, man, I wish I could talk like Josh.
Yeah, probably.
Probably not.
But yeah, that was really beautiful, though. It really is like a time of reflection. Like, people think it's a very dreary, gray time of year, but it is also that time where, like, we do need to go in, stay more indoors. Not necessarily all the time, but we naturally just spend more time indoors, and so we have more time to work on those reflections, work on those new intentions, what it is that you want for the new season that's about to happen, and how you can act on those things. It's a season of rest. Nature goes dormant at this time.
Nature does go dormant.
And what?
Speaking of nature going dormant, excuse me, I'm choking on hot chocolate. Hot cacao. I'm choking on my hot cacao. I need some water. I need water. SpongeBob.
I don't need it.
I don't need it. Anyways, yes, the snow comes down in the winter phase. And it is like a blanket for Mother Nature. It keeps it warm. It provides water for the plants. Because even though they're dormant, they're not dead. They're just going inward like we are, or could be. Like chipmunks do, squirrels, bears, hibernation. I mean, I feel like it's all there symbolically. We just have to look what's going on in winter. Plants are dormant, bears are sleeping, chipmunks are eating nuts in their tree nest.
Yep.
Probably.
Probably.
So it's all there,
Yeah. I feel like humans tend to go against nature.
Generally.
And that's where burnout happens a lot. And it's so interesting to me that we, as humans, we're so intelligent on so many different levels.
But so dumb.
So dumb.
But so, not dumb necessarily. Actually, humans are just acting in accordance to society and how fast it has gotten.
Yeah.
So we are subjects of our environments.
Yes. So you have to step out of that, step back, and take a look at the norms of society. And there's a lot of people who don't know how to rest. And if you look at nature, nature is fully resting right now. And it's a time where they're eating their reserves. Like if that's a bear is sleeping. They had gathered all of their reserves and essentially built up their fat reserves so that they can survive the winter sleeping. And even their cubs, like they can literally give birth in the middle of winter, and their cubs just survive through all of that, which I think is absolutely incredible. So there's that birth again. So going inward.
Into the earth. They're majorly earthing, grounding.
Yeah. and comes that new life, and it's really beautiful. And I think it's just a time that people just have a really hard time doing, is resting. So they're working against nature, really. So yes, in today's society, like, we can't just not work.
Yeah, totally.
And we're not bears, so we don't hibernate. So how do we go about, listening to nature? Yeah, listening to nature. How do we balance that? And, well, I feel like, the sleep. Remember when you asked my Nana and my mom what we were?
What we were?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like what animals, like, are asleep? Like what type of...
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What
the
is that called?
chronotype.
Oh, chronotype. Yes, that's what it was.
Chronotype.
And essentially what that is, it helps you understand, like, your natural tendencies for sleep. Mm-hmm. So working with that, I feel like you can enhance the way you sleep and the way you show up in the winter time. So if you know that part of you, maybe we could put that in the show notes too, so people can have a resource to figure out what they're...
like a chronotype? Yeah, just Google, like, what's my chronotype? You'll probably figure it out pretty quick.
Super, super simple.
Don't do it right now, though, because we're in the middle of an episode.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't pause this.
Hold on.
But I feel like the more you know about yourself, how many hours of sleep is optimal for you? Yeah. Ask yourself that. Like, some people will say, I can operate on 5 hours of sleep. That's probably operating on cortisol and stress.
And sugar.
and stimulants and things like that. Like, your body in the wintertime naturally wants to sleep just a little bit more. Even if it's just an hour, like, that hour will fully rejuvenate you, as long as you're not taking in a ton of stimulants or anything like that, disrupting your sleep. But I feel like that part is super important, to know how much sleep is optimal for you. Like, for me as a woman, I really need roughly that 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Like, that's a pretty sweet spot for me. I know men can get away with like 7 hours of sleep, and like that 7 to 8 hours or so, and feel pretty good. It just kind of depends, but then the time of year too also matters a lot. So there's less sunlight out there, waking you up early in the morning, so it's easier to sleep in.
Quick story on that is, during the summertime, and we do have, like, not in all states, but here in Idaho, we have the daylight savings time. Mm-hmm. Spring forward, fall back. Could have an effect on this too, but in the summertime, I will wake up earlier, easier. My days are longer, easier. But in the wintertime, I think naturally, to the circadian rhythm of the universe, I tend to sleep longer. Generally turn into, like, I could probably train myself to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day in the summertime. Fairly easy. 6 a.m. definitely. But in the wintertime, I'm more like a 7 or 7:30 type of guy. And I'm like, yo, what the heck, man? But then I'm like, okay, this has happened my whole life. This is probably just a natural rhythm that I should follow, and stop fighting it. Stop trying to be that. Because, again, being a subject of our environments and following what society has in store for you, what they want you to do. If you want to be a 10Xer, if you want to be a billionaire, millionaire, you want to make 6 figures, bro, you got to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day. If you're tired. If you're tired, that's an excuse. No, you're not. You can't 10X without being awake longer.
What's his name? Rap name Fogey or whatever.
Oh yeah, that guy's funny. Yeah, so, and it's, since we're coaching people and we pay attention to people's habits and how they are, or if they're in pain, or how long has this pain lasted. Since we're coaching people, it's like we can see the people who are in chronic pain, especially business owners. They push through all of it. And
without rest.
Rest. And it's like, dude, you've got to balance it. And they often wonder, like, oh, yeah, I've tried chiropractic, I've tried massage, I've tried whatever else. I've seen a nutritionist, I've done all the latest and greatest biohacking technologies. And
starting to sound like Owen Wilson over here.
and lo and behold, you're still pushing and pushing, and you're not resting. And I feel like sometimes the easiest answer for people in chronic pain who are tired and have like baggy eyes and dark circles around their eyes or under their eyes is like, dude, you gotta rest. You can't just follow this societal egotistical thing of, I've got to work out, I've got to push through, weights, steroids, creatine, protein powder. Are you tired? Get to the gym, bitch. It don't matter. No, that's just so wrong on so many levels. And if you just pay attention, you can see it in people, especially business owners.
Yeah, it is true. The pushing past the pain and the mentality of like, I'll deal with it later, usually ends up of that more chronic pain or surgery or something a lot more drastic. Whereas if there was just some rest, maybe some light rehab of that, area. And I feel like it's very typical in like people's necks and shoulders. They're like, oh, I've had to have shoulder surgery or something, because like people hold so much tension in their shoulders and in their neck.
Yeah.
And people who are chronically stressed, especially in this winter time of our life when rest is like literally, it's trying to get you. Like nature is like saying, hey, it's time to slow down, and you're just ignoring that. It just amplifies it so much more. But this, like the people who are chronically stressed also don't breathe properly either.
Yeah, that's a negative feedback loop.
And so it just creates like this whole string of other potential problems.
Yes, it becomes central sensitization, which means your nervous system is sensitized. It is subject to being affected easier, in other words.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And when you are centrally sensitized, that can trigger a breathing problem on a micro level, hyperventilizing. What the hell? Is that a word? Why can't I think? Hyperventilation, there we go. Hyperventilizing. Man, I'm going to have to look that up. Sometimes I think I make shit up, like words too. But anyways, central sensitization can lead to breathing disorders such as hyperventilation. What the heck, dude? Hyperventilization? What the heck, dude? Okay, anyways, it leads to breathing disorders. And
you know the word.
Conversely, breathing disorders can lead to central sensitization and anxiety. And they kind of just like go hand in hand with each other, back and forth. And yeah, you got to work in sometimes, not work out.
Yeah, yes. Working in is it's slower paced. And I used to be this person, so like I used to love my HIIT workouts, like going super hard, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and just raising my heart rate up. And doing turbo fire, if you're familiar with Beachbody, like just going so hard, punching the air and kicking the air. That was my jam. Like I loved it so much. But I used to do plyometrics too, so a lot of jumping and.
Oh yeah, you did that a lot.
I did that a lot, and like it kept my weight down at the time. But again, I was like dealing with so much other stress in my body, and I wasn't working with my cycle. It was, okay, I'm on my period, I should be able to do this, when it's like, no, your body just needs yoga, walking, slower paced movements. And I was just trying to force it. I'm like, no, I need to be able to like kickbox and whatever else. And it just was not working for me. But I remember when I would practice yoga, it was always so hard because I wanted to be fast. I wanted to move my body fast because I thought that's what I needed to do at the time to look and feel good about myself. And that was actually doing so much more harm than good because it was just a constant stressor on my body when I would put myself through that. So exercise in itself is stressful on the body. Like your body recognizes that as stress.
Yeah, I think there was a study done. I don't remember the name of the study, but I believe it is after 20 or 30 minutes, cortisol starts to rise or something like that. I'd have to refresh myself on that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So keeping workouts under, 15, 20 minutes, if you're a stressed out person, yeah, that would be good. Like just get a quick pump in, 15 minutes and head out. Mm-hmm.
That's so much easier on the central nervous system. Like your central nervous system is essentially like in charge of like helping you like regulate your emotions too. Like if it is if your body doesn't feel safe, like it has just so much cortisol like pumping through your veins, like you're not going to be able to relax as well as you could. So being able to work in, and some examples of working in is like walking, meditation, yoga even can be
yoga.
Working in.
Tai Chi, Qigong. And really you can make, a lot of people are intimidated, like, I don't know how to do Tai Chi or Qigong. Well, you can actually make any movement into a work in. There are just a few key components to doing that. One is don't let your heart rate rise too much. Maybe if 10 beats rising is okay, maybe. But yeah, you want to keep it around your normal heart rate. You want to keep your mouth moist. And you don't want to be sweating. You don't want to be clammy or feel hot. You should feel energized after the movement is done. So let's say your liking is the weight room in a gym, and you are that's all you do. And Qigong sounds like a freaking dumb idea. Well, we can actually make those workouts into a work-in by simply doing those movements without load, aka weights. So if you're doing a bicep curl, I guess, would be a really common one that people do. Just do it slow into your breath and close your eyes, maybe throw some music on, some calming music, and you got some Tai Chi basically. A Tai Chi master would probably be like, not really.
No.
But my point is it becomes a work-in exercise. If you're squatting, you can turn it into a breathing squat. So when you go down and towards the fetal position, you're exhaling, and then you come up. As you extend, you're inhaling energy, and you're just going slow to your breath. Nothing quick.
So the working in is really great for this slower time. Like when people are stressed, we're in the holidays, and for whatever reason, it just ends up being a really stressful time for people, whether that be financially, whether there's like work deadlines that they're trying to make. There's just all of these pressures, and some of them I feel like you can let go, especially if they're pressures based on society. The like having to wake up at 5:30 in the morning in winter is like, well, maybe do I have to do that? Or can I actually, is it more beneficial for me to get extra hour or two of sleep versus that workout, because I could probably spare 15 minutes to do a workout during the day that I am awake already. You know, that might be more beneficial instead of waking up, doing your hour-long workout or even 30 minutes where you could actually be just sleeping. Like that is a time of healing. The brain literally needs that in order for you to rest and heal properly. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, conversely, with the slow workouts and energy accumulation activities, dang, I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on.
buffering.
Excuse me. That was supposed to be a noise that old computers make when they're loading. You know what I'm talking about? AOL. Or the old internet. What's it called?
Dial-up?
Dial-up, yeah. Oh, shit. Who knows what I was going to say? You can continue.
Okay, sounds good. I was just trying to make the point about prioritizing certain habits in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
And that could be more rest. Because like you were saying, for you personally...
Oh,
you got it.
Yes,
you got it. He's got it.
It came back.
Okay.
Okay. I just thought of it, and then I saw a moth flying around.
Oh, no.
Okay, here it is. Conversely to the slow energy accumulating exercises and naps and these things that bring energy in from resting more so, and slow movements, is sometimes doing a quick pump, a quick workout, will actually bring energy in too. You know, so maybe you're not doing a 30-minute full-blown workout. Maybe you're just doing literally a 10-minute thing. You know, like, let's do 10 minutes of calisthenics real quick. Like, hey, let's just freaking pump out. Maybe do a quick little warm-up, like super quick.
Do you feel like that it's because energetically that's like moving stagnant energy?
Could be, yeah.
You know?
Very well could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget the, you know, the science behind it, but, you know, it's moving blood, it's moving the body, it's awakening you.
Which we need a lot of during the winter. We're cold, right?
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, if you're cold, then you might want to not do much. But, you know, you could do, like, some jumping jacks, 10 push-ups, 10 squats, you know, 10... whatever else there are. Sit-ups.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, literally. You can run in place. You can do lunges. You can do whatever. 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Shit, you could even do 5 minutes.
Yeah. Just get your heart pumping.
Yeah.
Going.
Pump it up.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So what?
I was going to say a good segue. You started talking about the cycle. Do you want to start talking about how the cycle and the seasons are intermingling with each other?
Yes, I would love to talk about that.
Awesome. I would love to hear it.
You would.
And I speak for our audience too, for
good.
now. Only right here.
Just right here.
Just right here.
You're the only audience.
Yeah, but if the audience would like to speak for themselves, you guys can leave a review on our podcast or leave a comment on how great you think that we are.
What was your favorite part about the podcast?
Yeah, what was your favorite part?
Like, is it Josh's stories?
Josh's forgetfulness?
Yeah, or his... Because I think you do that in almost every...
Sidetracks?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we would be grateful if you left a review on our podcast. But anyways, let's hear about the cycle and the seasons.
So, I like tying this in because I feel like nature is just a really great reminder as to look to for inspiration. There we go. Nature is very inspiring to me. We are nature, and I feel like we move away from nature, especially when we stay cooped up in our homes, especially in the winter time. Like, we are just cooped up. inside our walls. I mean, most people also work indoors too. I know there's some outdoor workers out there, but typically we're just indoors, and I like to think in a way of like, well, nature has it this way for us for a reason. Like nature always knows. And since we are nature, our bodies know. So how do we work with nature and with our cycle? So for women, we have 3 phases of the cycle. So that is your follicular phase, your ovulatory phase, and your luteal phase. And we also have 4 seasons, though. So I like to break it up into 4 seasons just so it's easy to mimic with the seasons of nature. So we have winter, we have spring, we have fall, summer, and then fall. So anyways, I just feel like it would be, hopefully this makes sense for people, women especially, but also men. Like it's important for men to also know these things because a lot of men have daughters, a lot of men have wives or girlfriends, or just women in their life. And so...
Yes, and nature reflects itself in our lives in general as well.
How so?
Well, when we wake up, it is like spring. During the day, when we're action-oriented, it is like summer. In the evening, it is like fall, leading us to our sleep and rest in the winter. For day-to-day reflection.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
It is there. I like it.
So... But how does it relate to the cycle more so?
Yeah,
in a woman?
So the cycle, like I said, we have the 3 phases. So the most obvious part of our cycle is when we bleed. So when we have our actual period. So the day 1 is your day 1 of bleeding. And that's not spotting, that's like actual bleeding. So no spotting. But the follicular phase, you can break that up into 2 parts. So this is where the winter phase and the spring phase come into play. So winter, you're bleeding. That is your time of rest and digest and a time for reflection. And so this time of your cycle, I feel like a lot of women feel really horrible, unfortunately. So lots of pain, lots of discomfort, lots of sugar cravings, and it's especially not helpful around the holidays when you are in this phase and you're surrounded by sugary treats and you kind of just like feed into that, and it's just not ideal. So you want to like look into like hot chocolate, like that we had mentioned early in this podcast, retreat hot chocolate, right?
Retreat drinks.
Oh yeah, retreat drinks. And so it's not that you can't enjoy treats, it's just prioritizing what actually nourishes you in this cycle, this part of your cycle here. So your winter phase, you want to do a lot of resting. You could actually tap into your wise woman. This is where maybe you have an easier time getting things off your chest. For example, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are like, ooh, is it Shark Week or whatever? Like, doo-doo.
Oh, during the period?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So people are like, stay away, you know, from her because she's on her period. And that reason is because, one, we're moody, we're, you know, irritable, but we also can say maybe not so nice things because it's easier to say it during this part of our cycle. But when we are feeling more in tune with ourselves, you can use this time for setting boundaries. It's a time where you could start setting your goals for the month, how you want to be, how you want to take care of yourself for the month to come, because spring is right around the corner. So you're not going to be on your period any longer, but you'll have all this energy to like do things. And so you want to set yourself up in this phase for success. So you want to rest, but also this is where you're just like maybe in bed or maybe on your couch and you have your notebook and you're like, well, what are all the things I want to accomplish this coming month? And you can use all of that wise energy that you have already, because your energy is lower. Like all of your energy is like inward. So you can really tap into the inner knowing of yourself and be able to manifest what your month is going to be like. So it's a really powerful part of our cycles, really. So instead of feeling like this is the worst part of our cycle, it can be literally the moment, excuse me, it could be the moment that you decide to make a difference in your life. And that begins with just writing some goals down and tapping into that wise woman that you are. So it's there. And yeah, like I said, you can set some boundaries. You can put some intentions into the coming month. And yeah, just see how that transforms your life. Rest during this phase. I think you'll enjoy that a lot. So I know I've talked to some women who have a hard time resting, especially type A women. They're like, I gotta go, 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 go. But then their life is so stressful in every other way. And this is one area that you can control. You can say no to all the things. If you know you are going to be on your cycle, it's okay to say no. It's okay to reschedule things. Something popped up that someone wants you to attend, but you know you're going to be on your cycle, just say no. If you truly want to rest and prioritize that, it is okay. So I feel like there's a lot of, societal norms to just push through, and it's not helpful for us as women. So
yeah, well, it also becomes like I know I'm going to be on my period. Mm-hmm. I know there's some pressure on me to go to this event, or maybe pressure on yourself to go to the event, because you're possibly people pleasing.
yeah.
And then if you go to the event, you're going to be stressed out anyways. So it's like, well, just find it in you to be okay with not going to the event, and you'll probably just feel better overall.
Yeah. One thing that I've recently heard Mel Robbins from the Mel Robbins podcast lately.
Yes, I've heard of Mel Robbins.
Mm-hmm. She's absolutely wonderful and has like literally I think she's like close to the #1 podcast right now streaming.
Oh, wow.
Like she is absolutely incredible. But anyways, she actually just came out with a book, and it's
We're coming for her spot.
And yeah, better look out. But she came out with a book called Let Them.
Yeah, let them.
And that can mean let them think whatever they think about your situation.
Yeah.
Let them do whatever it is that they do. There's all these expectations that we have in people, and that creates a lot of stress in our life. And it's like, why do we put that unnecessary stress in our life? So when you adopt that kind of mindset of like, let them, I'm going to do what it is that is right for me and my health.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let them think whatever it is. So that's a part of boundaries, setting up your boundaries. And so just let them think whatever they need to think. So.
And yeah, we also understand that this can be hard to do, especially depending on what situation you're trying to set a boundary for.
Yeah.
Or a person or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not easy, and it will rub people the wrong way, but I also believe that when you set up boundaries and it does rub people the wrong way who have gained value from you, but maybe you were not gaining anything in return. So it was a very unbalanced relationship.
Like a parasitic relationship.
Mm-hmm. And so that's when you know it is okay for that relationship to be shifted, moved apart, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Adjusted.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean you have to cut ties and it has to be like super dramatic or anything, but
yeah, I feel like sometimes when people put boundaries up, especially in today's world where boundaries are becoming a popular thing, they go like extreme on it, and it's like,
it doesn't have to be
like,
extreme.
damn, bro, you don't have to cut everybody out of your life.
Yeah.
Like, just modify some things, and
maybe it's just a really hard conversation, and that's where it's hard. But sometimes if you know, like deep down, that that's like not a good relationship, then cut that out. But then there's like other relationships where you're like,
might be worth to keep there.
Yeah. I think it's just a miscommunication, something like that. So intentions. Yeah. What are people's intentions for you and your time?
And a lot of times too, like dogs. If you go to a dog park and they don't like how one other dog is acting, they will correct their behavior. Mm-hmm. Sometimes all we need to do is be a dog and correct our friends or families or acquaintances' behavior, and they will correct what it is that you did not like or what was hurting you or even themselves, and therefore that's better for everybody, including the person.
A confident dog who will sometimes mistakenly be considered like an aggressive dog, but a confident dog who does perfect correction amongst other dogs, like in a pack or something like that, or like in a dog park setting, will do a correction that looks scary for a moment, and it's like, hey, this isn't okay, but they will never bite. They will hold their boundary until the other dog who is maybe harassing other dogs or whatever, just not respecting other dogs' boundaries or anything like that, not listening to the dog's body language. That confident dog will let out just like a little growl or a bark and kind of like hover over them and wait there until that other dog has calmed down. Yes. And so it's uncomfortable. Like most people would watch that and be like, oh no, they're going to fight. And it's like, no, this is like, it's actually really healthy to society, really, when you put people in their place in a loving way. But that loving way could look very sharp, but it's fueled by the wise woman. If you're a woman, it's fueled by the wise woman part of you, where it's easier to say those like sharper things when you're upholding a boundary. Hey, I feel disrespected when you are not listening to the boundary that I'm placing, or something like that.
Yeah.
So it might sound really sharp, but it's actually just really powerful and will get the point across in a way that's like respectful. You're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings by any means, but it's like you got to say these things every once in a while to the people you love, because sometimes we unintentionally take too much at times, whether that's people's time or energy or anything like that. And so it's just these corrections that we have, if you compare it in like the dog behavior world, which I think is absolutely fascinating. But yeah, it's just these corrections, that people can have. So tap into your wise woman and be able to set your boundaries and be firm in them. But you can use your period as your like backup, like power, house. So anyways, that's your winter phase, is like setting boundaries, resting, having those hard conversations sometimes. So this is how we balance it out with it being in the winter time and not letting anybody influence us about the whole sleeping thing. Like, oh, you should be waking up super early to get things done. And it's like, well, how about I'm just more productive during my day and prioritize sleep and shift it in that way instead of literally burning myself out or burning ourselves out. So, yeah.
So where can people learn about all the other phases? Don't you have like a handout or something?
I do have a handout. Yeah. So in the show notes, we will provide that for you. So it's just a really great handout that will talk about all of the phases. So the follicular, ovulatory, and the luteal. It will talk about when that time is. Excuse me. It will talk about what hormones are driving that. It will talk about your energy levels, your food, the optimal food for each of these phases. And it even talks about what exercises are most ideal in each of these phases as well. And then a couple other bonus things. So one is self-care. So like putting yourself first, what kind of self-care can you do? There's even 10 libido boosting foods on here. So there's a list of that. And then as another bonus, there are 9 health benefits of orgasms as well. So just to put the cherry on top.
Sounds like a PDF you might need.
Yeah. So you can download that. I'll put that in there for you. Oh, and another thing, it just has terms to know. So like all the different types of hormones and what they do and why they're important. So yeah, you want to download that PDF. We'll make sure you have that as a resource. But yeah, I feel like it's just really important to just reflect, release, let go, set intentions for the new season. So that's kind of what I want to end on today.
Yeah, that's a good ending, I think. Maybe like a couple things people can do as well. Maybe if they want to take a couple actionable items home with them. Writing things down that you want to let go of. Mm-hmm. You can burn the piece of paper, let it go into the ether.
Which is the earth, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, you can also, if you're into cards, you can draw an oracle card, you can draw a tarot card, a spirit animal card, whatever other cards there are. Just, of course, set your intentions, but do these things on the winter solstice, which is December 21st. What else can people do? Well, you said write down goals and intentions for the following year.
Yep. So essentially, that was it. That was what I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay. And then also, what people can do is also, I think you might have said it, reflection of the previous year. How did it go? What did you learn? What did you do wrong? How can you correct it? What do you want to do better? What do you want to eliminate? What do you want to add in? There's a lot of questions.
Who do you want to be? Who was I?
Yeah, exactly.
It's super important to do the reflections, and I'm really excited for you guys to actually listen to next week's episode, because we did a podcast about our reflection for 2024. So that one has literally all the tea that you could possibly want from us. It's about a 3-hour podcast, so it's a pretty hefty one there. But it's so important to reflect and understand like where you were and then where you are currently, because you always want to make sure that you're staying planted where you are too. So in goal setting and like looking into your future and manifesting how you want that year to be, you'll not be so so grounded. You'll be kind of like dreaming, but you want to make sure that you like bring it back and putting it on paper, putting it into action items that you can do every day, every week, and then reflect on it every month. Did I do what I needed to do to move me forward and move me into the direction that I want to become? Like, who do you want to become? What kind of qualities do you need in order to achieve those goals? So, like, if you want better health, what do you have to do? Who do you have to be to get there? Well, I need to be a disciplined woman in my health. Mm-hmm. Maybe I need to rest more because I don't rest. Yeah. Maybe I need to put myself first and set my boundaries. Well, okay, what do those boundaries look at? Write it all down. After you write all the things that you want to let go of, what are some qualities that you feel like are holding you back? So like an example of that could be, well, I drink way too much coffee. Like, I use this one as an example a lot because coffee sometimes is just not serving anybody. The addiction to the caffeine that's what it is. It's a legit addiction. And if you can't give up coffee for a day or 2 days, or if you just always think about it, like, that's most likely an addiction. It's like, okay, so I want to be healthier and have no addictions. I have to be a person who no longer drinks coffee. And so you could rephrase that and say, I am a person who drinks tea, or whatever it is. Like, replace whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So
yeah, nice. Mm-hmm. I was going to add another thing that people can do is art.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Paint, draw, access your creative mind.
Yeah.
And
that's very calming.
Yeah, it's calming. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, calming, and it can be really telling too. So like if you paint something just coming out of your mind, like you could observe that and look at it, or have somebody else interpret it. Mm-hmm. Like, what does that tell somebody? So yes. That would be interesting. And if you have a hard time doing arts, like say painting or drawing or anything like that, well, there's so many different types of art out there. Like, you could make jewelry, so that requires you don't necessarily have to put pen to paper or brush to paper. Like, you could put beads together, like, it's a different way of thinking. And so
here's a good story, though. Something we hear very often. Many people hear this very often, and many of you listening are probably saying this to yourself right now. I can't draw. I'm not artistic. Okay, well, yeah, you are, actually. And here's an example of this. Taylor's Nana was very adamant that she was not artistic. Mm-hmm. And we just kept on encouraging her, just fucking do it. Just fucking try it. Mm-hmm. And now she actually enjoys painting.
Mm-hmm. She'll just paint for fun now.
She
bought her own paints. She bought an easel. And every once in a while, she'll send me a picture of a painting that she painted. And I'm like, wow, that is really awesome and super inspiring, because like it was something that she was like, I don't do that.
Yeah, she was like, for a while, like, I'm not participating in that.
Yeah, she refused to at first. And we're like, come on, Nana, just go for it. And now she's like bought stencils to kind of add to her paintings, and just is super excited about it. And like, that's life-giving. That's soul, that's like adding to your soul. Like, your soul loves for you to be creative and happy, and we're meant to create. Like, especially women, like we are meant to create. Like we can create babies in our bodies. You know, we can bring life to the world, and I just think that is super incredible. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that it? Should I give a quote, or do you have more?
I wanted to mention this. So when you are doing your reflection and you're releasing and letting go, how you can do that is you can actually meditate on that too. So you can build a fire, or if you don't have the abilities to build a fire, you can use a candle. And for me, this feels really good. I did this when I was connecting to our spirit baby. I actually did this outside, and it was chilly. It was cold outside, but I just wrapped myself around a blanket. But I took a candle and I wrote all of the things that I wanted to let go of, like whether that was shame, doubt in my abilities to carry a baby. I just wrote out all kinds of things. And then I set new intentions for how I want to be when we do try again. And so, anyways, I did this outside because I just felt like fire outside in nature with a really nice, cool air on my face, being able to breathe deeply into my belly. I was sitting crisscross applesauce, if you know what that is. But it felt really grounding to me to be able to do this meditation and this practice of reflecting and releasing and setting the intentions for our soul baby to come to us. And it just felt really good to my soul to do that. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you.
Yeah.
So you can, be around a fire, but just write down everything, all the things that you want to let go of, and write it down and read it and be like, I'm intentionally letting these go. And then burn it and be like, I've let them go. Let it go. I no longer associate as whatever it is that you are letting go. And then just sit there and breathe in all of your new intentions for the new year or the new season of your life. What is it that you want to bring in? Love, warmth, growth, for the new season. And just sit there and take out however long is needed for you to feel like fully satisfied in this practice. But yeah, I think it's just a really beautiful way to connect to your soul, really. I did it by myself, but I think you can do it with people too. So last year, Josh and I did it on January 1st, that did this practice.
Yeah, but we'll be doing
ritual
on December 21st this year for the solstice.
Yes, we will.
Either day, whatever day you want to do it.
Yeah. So we'll do it this Saturday. But also, I think it's really cool that Josh's birthday is December 20th, which is the day that this podcast will be released. So everybody wish him a happy birthday. He will be 33 years young or old. What do you think it is?
I'll just be 33.
You're 33. So yes, wish him a happy birthday. I'm really, really thankful to have my husband here with me doing this podcast, and I'm now dating an old man.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know
you
how
think
to...
it's old. Gotcha.
No, I think we're still very young in the big scheme of things, especially if we live until we're like 110.
My goal is to live until at least 2080, because it is predicted that is the next December 20th Winter Solstice day, and the last one was in the 1600s.
Yeah.
So that'll be a magical day for myself, most likely.
It probably would be.
Yeah, it will be.
How old would you be? Do you know?
I don't freaking know. I'll be 89.
89.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That would be really incredible, actually. Like, imagine what we could do. So you would be 89. I would still be...
87 or something? 86?
I'd be 86.
86, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyways, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, cool. Anything else you want to
Yeah, the quote.
say? Oh,
What about
yes,
the
yes,
quote,
yes.
homie?
The quote.
Okay, here's a quote. The color of springtime is in the flower. The color of winter is in the imagination. Ward Elliott's Hour. I have no idea who that is, honestly. I just Googled it. But it sounds cool.
Yeah.
It sounds cool because it's like the color of springtime is in the flower. Amazing. The color of winter is in the imagination, which goes along with like, well, let's do some art. Mm-hmm. Let's get creative. Imagine your next year. Imagine what your life is going to be like. So, pretty cool little quote.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, I
Cool.
like that. Anyways, that's it, right?
Yes.
So leave a review.
Wait, happy winter
Oh
solstice.
yeah, happy winter solstice if you're listening to it today on the 21st or the whatever.
It's on the
It
21st.
doesn't matter. Happy winter solstice because that's when we're doing it.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever you.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say leave those reviews. Check out Retreat Drinks. Download Taylor's guide for all you women. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Now go out there and echo your vitality.
Nice.